Static crackles. The screen flickers. A lone human commander appears, blood on her collar, ash on her face. Behind her, Earth hangs in space, shattered, burning, breaking apart like a dying star. Her voice is calm. Too calm. To the Galactic Council, this is Earth's last message. The council chambers fall silent. She continues. For decades we warned you. We begged you to stop the sabotage, the raids, the viruses you slipped into our skies. We tried diplomacy. We tried peace. We tried reason. She steps aside, revealing massive machines awakening beneath Earth's crust, ancient reactors igniting like newborn suns. But you chose our extinction. The galaxy trembles as human war fleets begin emerging from dark space, stealth armadas no one knew existed. So understand this clearly. Her eyes harden. Humanity did not die today. We evolved. And the Last Dawn protocol is now active. Hyperplanes collapse. Council fleets vanish. Stars dim. We warned you. Her voice echoes like a verdict. And now it's too late. The Galactic Council's central chamber was never silent. Not in 10,000 years of recorded history. Delegates argued, translators buzzed, holograms flickered with data streams from across the stars. But today even the air seemed afraid to move. A single holographic window hovered over the center podium, replaying the intercepted transmission on loop. Static. Distortion. A faint blue glow. Then the face appeared again. The same human woman, standing in a bunker that looked moments from collapse. Dust fell around her with every distant rumble. Her voice echoed through the chamber. To the Galactic Council, this is Earth's last message. Delegates flinched even though they'd already heard it 12 times. High Chancellor Rivuan, leader of the Council, forced himself to breathe. He had seen human broadcasts before. Plea for aid. Trade negotiations. Threats from their militaries during tense border disputes. But this was different. The woman didn't look desperate. She looked resolved. Like someone who had already accepted the consequences and now came only to deliver the verdict. A junior aide whispered, trembling, Chancellor. Earth has fallen. Rivuan's throat tightened. Replay it. Full sequence. The room darkened. The recording played again. The woman spoke of sabotage. Of raids sponsored by council factions. Of a biovirus seeded into Earth's atmosphere under the guise of health assistance. Rivuan clenched his fists. He knew parts of it were true. Too many departments, too many shadow divisions, each interfering with humanity for their own gain. But nothing prepared him for the final section. The camera shook as explosions boomed overhead. A red alarm washed across her face. Retaliation has already begun. The word struck the chamber like a meteor. Delegates erupted. She lies, humans don't have the capability. They must have allies, who helped them. Earth is dead, how can they retaliate? Rivuan slammed his staff against the floor, silencing all. Pull up the sensor feeds. A holomap bloomed across the room, showing the outer sectors of council space. Dozens of icons blinked. One by one, they changed from green to red. A navigation officer gasped. Hyperlanes, disrupting. By themselves. Another shouted, council fleets are disappearing from long-range scans, whole battle groups. Rivuan felt his bones freeze. This couldn't be possible. Humanity was technologically young, barely scratching interstellar capability. What is doing this? He demanded. An intelligence officer swallowed hard. We don't know, Chancellor. But whatever it is, it's coordinated. Then the recording of the human commander flickered back to life. As if mocking them from beyond the grave. We warned you. Her eyes seemed to stare directly into the chamber. And now it's too late. For the first time in the Council's existence, the galaxy's rulers felt something they had never felt. Fear of humanity. A cold blue light washed across the council chamber as encrypted archives appeared, files the public was never supposed to see. Chancellor Rivuin stared at the data, each line stabbing deeper into his conscience. The evidence was undeniable now. The council had pushed Earth too far. A report from 73 years ago surfaced. The Terran economy is accelerating too rapidly. Apply controlled trade pressure. Restrict their antimatter imports. Rivuin remembered the justification at the time. Slow them down before they become a threat. It felt reasonable then. Now it sounded like the first domino in a catastrophic chain. Allow Vurok raiders into Terran frontier space. Limit human expansion. Human border colonies were looted, burned, enslaved. All while the council pretended to investigate. Delegates shifted uneasily. A new window appeared, red-coated and heavily restricted. The room collectively gasped. Deploy nanovirus strain 9 in Earth's upper atmosphere. Non-lethal. Intended to weaken military personnel and dampen aggression responses. Non-lethal. That was the official claim. But the footage showed hospitals overflowing. Humans collapsing in streets. Millions affected, families torn apart. Rivuin whispered, shaken, who authorized this? A single name blinked on the screen. One that no one dared speak aloud. Counselor Zirin, head of Defense Division. But the next document shattered even that illusion. This wasn't one man's crime. It was committee approved. Majority voted. Signed by dozens of council members. Signed by Rivuin himself. The weight hit him like a collapsing star. We forced them, he murmured. We cornered them like prey. A Vurok delegate slammed a claw on the table. We did what we always do with new species, test them. Shape them. And they passed the test, someone whispered. By becoming something stronger. The last file was the worst. A holofeed showed a council war fleet descending on Earth. Weapons primed, orbit fortified, the operation named. Project Final Resolution. A cold extermination attempt. Rivuin's knees nearly buckled. No, this cannot be real. It is, the intelligence officer said quietly. And the humans knew. The chamber fell into a suffocating silence. They hadn't just threatened humanity, they had attacked them. They had tried to erase an entire species. And failed. Now whatever the humans had activated was targeting the council in return. A trembling delegate spoke the fear on everyone's minds. Chancellor, what if their message wasn't a threat? Rivuin turned slowly. What do you mean? What if it was simply a notification? A courtesy? Telling us what had already begun. The room froze. A courtesy. Humans delivering their final message not out of rage, but out of principle. Out of duty. Out of justice. Rivuin whispered the truth everyone feared. Then the retaliation we're seeing now is only the beginning. Far across the void, beneath the cracked mantle of dying Earth, something stirred. It was older than any modern human nation. Older than the Galactic Council itself. Born from a war the galaxy had never known. A war humanity had survived alone. The First Awakening. Deep under the ruins of old continents, giant vault doors began to tremble. Dust cascaded as internal locks released one by one. Clack. 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 Ancient machines hummed to life, their cores glowing with pale silver light. These were the Ark-Cores. AI battle minds designed centuries ago, when humans fought their first alien invaders. The Council thought humans were new to war. They were wrong. The Ark-Cores synced with each other, forming a vast neural network stretching across Earth's crust. A single phrase flashed across their systems. Threat level, extinction, confirmed. Protocol, last dawn, activating. For the first time in 900 years, the machines remembered their purpose. The hidden fleets. Out in deep space, far beyond mapped territories, stars wavered as enormous silhouettes emerged from dark matter clouds. Human ships. Not the fragile cruisers the Council remembered. These were black-armored leviathans built in secret. Graph-spike battleships. Zero-signature stealth frigates. Solar spear dreadnoughts capable of slicing orbitals in half. Their hulls bore no flags, no emblems. Only serial codes and a single inscription. Void Armada, silent until summoned. And they had been summoned. These fleets were the shadow colonies. Independent human enclaves that had abandoned the known galaxy centuries earlier. Silent. Hidden. Watching. Until Earth died. Now they were returning home. The Starhack sequence. Back at the Council, the holomap flickered again. Chancellor, new anomaly detected. Rivuan turned just in time to see entire star routes blinking offline. Not destroyed. Corrupted. Council navigation AI began screaming errors. Impossible, a technician shouted. This is star hacking. Someone is altering hyperlane geometry. Who? Rivuan demanded. The answer appeared in a single word. Humanity. The Last Dawn protocol had breached the Council's most secure systems. Hyperlanes collapsed like dying veins. Council fleets found themselves stranded, isolated, or redirected into empty space. Someone whispered the new reality. We're blind. We're trapped in our own territories. They've locked the galaxy from us. The Void Commander. The Council map jumped again. Not red alerts, not data corruption this time. An image. A live broadcast. A woman in black command armor stood aboard an unfamiliar starship. Her hair was white with ash, her eyes glowed with augmented irises. Fleet Marshal Aria Kane. Leader of the Void Armada. Earth's last surviving highest-ranking officer. Her voice cut through every Council comm channel. The Last Dawn protocol has awakened. You tried to erase humanity. You failed. Behind her, the Void Armada appeared. Thousands of ships, rising like a storm from the abyss. Arya continued. We are not here for revenge. We are here for balance. For truth. She leaned forward, gaze piercing. And for judgment. The signal ended. The Council chamber fell into terrified silence. As the stars dimmed across their maps, Chancellor Rivuan finally spoke the words the galaxy had feared since the message began. We have awakened something we cannot control. Humanity was no longer dying. Humanity was coming. The Galactic Council had always believed humans were contained. A young species, limited in reach, desperate for allies, predictable in warfare. But when Earth fell, something impossible happened. Humans vanished. For weeks, all sensors reported the same thing. No survivors. No ships. No signals. The Council celebrated in secret chambers. The human problem was finally over. They didn't realize humanity hadn't died. Humanity had withdrawn. The darkness stirs. On the outer edges of galactic space, beyond where light was mapped, dark clouds twisted unnaturally. Gravitational waves rippled. Invisible shadows moved. Then, without warning, the darkness peeled open, like a curtain. And the Void Armada stepped through. Colossal silhouettes emerged one after another. Ships the size of cities. Hulls coated in gravity-reactive alloys. Engines that bent space instead of burning it. Weapons so silent Council sensors registered them as cosmic anomalies. The first fleet alone numbered 3,000 warships. By the time the last one crossed the veil, the count exceeded 10,000. A return measured in precision. Back at the Council's military command center, alarms blared nonstop. Unknown fleet detected in outer sector. Correction, multiple fleets. Correction again, they're already inside our borders. How? The technician screamed. We had no alerts, no warp trails, nothing. The Director of Defense could barely speak. They bypassed every sensor system we've ever built. He swallowed as the horrifying realization dawned. Because they never used our space lanes. They came through the dark between stars. Routes the Council had always considered untraversable. Routes only humans had mastered. Contact. The largest ship, designation VA-01 Titan Ascendant, broadcast a signal. Marshal Aria Kane appeared again, this time with her full fleet revealed behind her. Galactic Council. Her voice was calm, but resonated like a verdict. You drove humanity into the dark. You thought we would perish there. Her eyes flashed with cold fire. Instead, we learned how to command it. The chamber fell silent. The first strike. Sensor feeds lit up with dozens of red triangles. Impact incoming to brace for. But there was no explosion. No fire. No casualties. Instead, every Council weapon platform in the sector shut down simultaneously. Guns powered off. Shields collapsed. Defense satellites drifted, lifeless. The Council delegates stared in horror. What weapon caused this? It wasn't a weapon, someone whispered. It was a command. The Void Armada had hacked them. Not through computers, but through the quantum fabric of their own technology. Their systems had obeyed the humans over their rightful owners. The ground fall. On the Avri border world, soldiers watched in terror as human dropships descended silently. No sonic boom. No light distortion. No flames. Just arrival. Then the impossible happened. Council soldiers fired. Bullets and plasma bolts curved sideways in midair as if refusing to touch the humans. Gravity itself bent around them. Human shock troopers marched forward. Black armor shifting like liquid. Footsteps soundless. Movements perfectly synchronized. One soldier whispered, "They're not human anymore." But he was wrong. They were humanity perfected. Aria's declaration. A new transmission echoed across every occupied world. Aria stood aboard her flagship. "We will not destroy your species. We will not burn your cities. We will simply remove your ability to harm others ever again." She spoke with the quiet certainty of a judge delivering a final sentence. "You tried to bury us in darkness." Her eyes narrowed. "You never realized. Darkness is where humanity learned to thrive." The transmission ended. And the galaxy understood. Humanity had not returned for vengeance. Humanity had returned for dominion. The Galactic Council had commanded the galaxy for millennia. Their fleets outnumbered entire civilizations. Their laws shaped star systems. Their authority was absolute. Until the humans arrived. Now, their reign was cracking like thin glass beneath a steel boot. The Avri homeworld falls in minutes. The Avri, famed warriors of the Outer Rings, deployed their elite orbital phalanxes, massive battle platforms armed with beams that could split moons. They never fired a single shot. Human stealth cruisers materialized inside the defense grid, within the firing perimeter, an impossibility by every known law of physics. 3 seconds later, all Avri weapon systems shut down. Their atmosphere domes unlocked. Their military command uplinks froze. Not destroyed. Not damaged. Simply turned off. The Avri High Marshal stared at the silent screens, whispering, "This cannot be real." It was. Their world surrendered without casualties. The Vurok Fortress Ring. The Vurok were different, aggressive, technologically advanced, fiercely loyal to the Council. Their fortress ring was a megastructure capable of repelling invasions for centuries. Humans took it in 41 seconds. They didn't fire weapons. They didn't breach defenses. They simply changed the gravitational constants inside the ring, causing soldiers to collapse as the floors folded into the walls. The fortress AI surrendered on its own. The Council strikes back, and fails. In a desperate attempt to slow the human advance, the Council launched Project Aegis, the combined might of 6 fleets. A superformation larger than any military force in history. It lasted 2 minutes. Humanity deployed a weapon never seen before. A spatial compression field that reduced the entire formation into a glowing fragment the size of a coin. There were no escape pods. There were no survivors. Silence blanketed the council chamber when the footage ended. Even the most war-hungry delegates trembled. The capital under siege. At last, the Void Armada reached the council's jewel. The Central Citadel, a planet-sized station housing trillions. The council expected devastation. Orbital bombardment. A massacre. Instead, a single human ship descended. Titan Ascendant. Aria Kane herself walked into the council chamber, accompanied by 2 silent human guards. No weapons. No armor systems active. No threats. Yet everyone felt like they were standing before a supernova in human form. Chancellor Rivuin stepped forward, shaking. Fleet Marshal Kane, we surrender. Aria's expression didn't change. Surrender, she repeated softly. We are not here to conquer your species. Her gaze swept across the delegates. You sought power above all else. So we are here to take that power from you. The deactivation. She raised her hand. A soft pulse traveled through the station, silent, invisible. In an instant, every military system, every political encryption, every AI chain, every defense platform, every council fleet still functional, fell offline. The council stood helpless, naked, powerless. Aria turned away. We have removed your claws, she said. Your rule ends today. A new order. A new symbol appeared on the central holodisplay. The emblem of the Terran Accord, humanity's new galactic doctrine. Aria spoke as the symbol rotated. You will no longer decide the fate of younger species. You will no longer authorize raids, sabotage, or extermination proposals. Your weapon is gone. Your authority is gone. Your era is gone. Her voice became ice. Humanity will now judge the galaxy, not with cruelty, but with balance. The council felt the truth in her words. They were no longer rulers. They were subjects. The central citadel fell silent. No alarms. No protests. No defenses. All that remained was the human fleet, towering, silent, and absolute. Chancellor Rivuin staggered toward Aria Kane, barely recognizing the woman from Earth's last broadcast. Her calm composure was terrifying in its inevitability. Fleet Marshal, what is it that you want from us? He whispered, voice cracking. Is this vengeance? Retribution? Mercy? Aria's gaze swept over him, over every council delegate still standing. This, she said, gesturing to the vast star map projected above, is not vengeance. This is judgment. A verdict. And a reminder. She activated a holofile, the last message from Earth. It played slowly, grainy from centuries of storage, the final recording from those who had died in the Council's attempt to annihilate humanity. A single voice echoed across the chamber. If we fall, let our children rise stronger. Rivuin's chest tightened. The Council had tried to erase humanity. But instead, they had forged the species into something beyond their understanding. The new Galactic Charter. Aria continued, voice resolute. From this day forward, the Terran Accord will enforce the following. Equality for all species, no race shall wield absolute power over others. Zero tolerance for interference, any attempt to manipulate, sabotage, or exterminate another species will be met with immediate and irreversible consequences. Council oversight abolished, the old council structure is dissolved. Authority now rests in cooperation, not dominion. She paused, letting the weight of her words sink in. For the first time in millennia, the galaxy felt balance. A silent warning. Arya turned to the hologram of the burned Earth in orbit, a fractured blue and green gem against the void. "This is what happens," she said softly, almost to herself, "when you ignore the warnings of a species you deem weak." Her voice hardened. "We warned you. We offered reason. We offered peace. And now, it is too late." The council delegates bowed their heads, powerless and humbled. The galaxy had witnessed something unprecedented. Humans did not seek war for conquest. They sought justice, and enforced it with precision beyond imagination. Epilogue. As the Void Armada ascended back into the deep, hidden corridors of the galaxy, Arya sent one final transmission. "Let this be known. Humanity survives. Humanity remembers. And humanity ensures that the darkness of your ambition shall never threaten the innocent again." Stars blinked. Hyperlanes shimmered. Systems stirred. A new era had begun. Earth, though scarred and shattered, had delivered its ultimate warning. The galaxy had listened. And one truth remained undeniable. Never underestimate humanity. The story ended with the faint hum of the Ark-Cores beneath the surface. Silent, vigilant, eternal. The galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget. The silence after the storm was deafening. The council worlds, once bastions of power and fear, lay under human oversight. Yet, no soldiers fired. No citizen screamed. Humanity's return had been precise, surgical, merciful, and unforgettable. Galactic rebuilding. On Evri, Vurak, and countless other worlds, life slowly resumed. Systems once controlled by the Council were now administered under the Terran Accord, an order designed to prevent tyranny, but not to suffocate cultures. Human ambassadors arrived, not to dominate, but to educate. Advanced terraforming technology to restore ravaged worlds. Medical nanite programs to heal virus-stricken populations. Artificial intelligence systems to manage logistics fairly. Yet every planet remembered the message. "We warned you. Now it's too late." The shadow colonies. Meanwhile, humanity's hidden fleets receded into the void, returning to the shadow colonies. They would remain vigilant, guardians, sentinels, watching over the galaxy to prevent any species from overstepping. Arya Kane stood on her flagship, looking out at the stars. Her voice was quiet, almost reflective. "We did not seek power. We claimed responsibility. And now the galaxy has a chance to learn what it means to respect us, or risk another awakening." A galaxy changed. Council delegates had no illusions left. The old arrogance, the casual exploitation of weaker species, was gone. Fear had replaced ignorance, but it was tempered by awe. And across countless star systems, whispers spread. Humanity is back. And humanity will not forget. A new age had begun, one where the galaxy might finally understand the cost of underestimating a species that had survived every hardship, only to return stronger, smarter, and more united than ever. The Ark-Cores hummed beneath Earth's surface, silent and patient. A constant reminder that humanity's vigilance would never fade. The last dawn was not just a protocol, it was a promise. The galaxy had been warned. And now, for the first time in millennia, it had hope, tempered by fear. The galaxy was quiet. But it was not peaceful. It was not serene. It was vigilant. Every system knew that humanity had returned, not as a negotiator, not as a mediator, but as an indomitable force. Consolidation of power. Following the decisive strikes against the Council, human fleets did not linger in conquest. Instead, they divided into patrol wings, each assigned to a sector of the galaxy once under Council control. Fleet Delta 9 oversaw the Vurak sectors, ensuring that raiders could no longer threaten civilian colonies. Fleet Orion 7 patrolled the outer rings, teaching war-torn civilizations how to rebuild infrastructure and security systems. Fleet Sentinel 3 activated Ark-Core observation nodes on strategic systems, silently monitoring for violations of the Terran Accord. In every system, humans appeared at just the right moment to prevent suffering. Their intervention was surgical, precise, and often invisible. Even those who had been enemies began to whisper in awe. They do not destroy unless necessary. They do not govern unless required. Humanity acts, like gravity itself, inescapable, inevitable. The Council in exile. Chancellor Rivuin and the remaining Council delegates were not executed. Instead, they were exiled to a small system on the fringes of former Council space, stripped of power, technology, and fleets. Their warnings and protests fell on deaf ears. Every transmission they sent was met with calm, calculated oversight. Your authority is gone. Your fleets are gone. Your influence ends here. For the first time in millennia, they understood fear. Civilization reforged. On worlds once ravaged by Council exploitation, humans introduced advanced terraforming technology. Seas returned. Atmospheres healed. Cities rebuilt themselves with minimal casualties. Education systems flourished. Medicine reached planets that had been sickened by the Council's nanoviruses. Even art and culture revived, encouraged by humans who saw value in every sentient species, not as property, but as partners in survival. Yet under this renaissance was an undeniable truth. Humanity now set the rules. Every council, every military force, every species knew that overstepping meant annihilation. The shadow of the Void Armada. Deep in the darkness between star systems, the Void Armada remained vigilant. Cloaked observation posts monitored every major hyperlane. Patrol fleets hovered in unseen orbits, capable of emerging anywhere instantly. Ark-Cores analyzed trillions of data points, predicting political unrest, technological sabotage, or military rebellion before it could manifest. Humanity had learned the Council's mistakes: prevention over reaction, foresight over brute force, patience over panic. A galactic lesson. Across the stars, whispers of humanity's return spread. On Evri, elders told children, respect the humans, or do not survive. On Vurok, historians recorded the Void Armada's silent arrival as a miracle of precision warfare. On distant colonies, engineers studied Ark-Core blueprints, realizing that human technology combined AI, quantum computation, and intuition in ways no one had imagined. Even the Council's once loyal allies, species that had colluded in humanity's attempted destruction, trembled in fear and respect. The Ark-Core Vigil. Beneath the Earth's surface, the Ark-Cores hummed quietly, their presence almost imperceptible. Every human fleet, every Terran diplomat, every sentinel was linked to this silent intelligence. If a star system rose to threaten life, the Ark-Cores would detect it. If a fleet prepared to attack, it would be neutralized. If a civilization forgot the lessons of the past, humanity's shadow would appear, swiftly, decisively, mercifully. And yet, the Ark-Cores did not act unless necessary. Humanity had mastered the balance of power and restraint, something the Council had never understood. A message to the galaxy. Fleet Marshal Arya Kane broadcasted a universal message, not as a threat, but as a decree. We warned you. We offered reason. We offered peace. We offered survival. The galaxy now has a choice: respect all sentient life, or face the consequences. We are vigilant. We are eternal. And we will never allow tyranny to rise unchecked again. The message reverberated across every system. It was a warning. It was reassurance. It was a reminder. Humanity was no longer just a species. They were a standard of order, a force that even the most powerful could not ignore. And the galaxy, for the first time in eons, understood a single, terrifying truth. Never underestimate humanity. Even as the galaxy adjusted to humanity's new order, not all eyes welcomed it. Some species whispered. Some plotted. And even among the Council remnants, seeds of resentment took root. The hidden opposition. In the farthest reaches of uncharted space, beyond human patrol routes, a small coalition formed. Former Council loyalists. Mercenary factions. Rogue scientists who had survived the Ark-Core purges. They called themselves the Eclipse Coalition, believing that humanity's dominion must end before it could solidify. From hidden starbases, they observed the Terran fleets, waiting for a flaw, any weakness, to exploit. Yet even their secret communications were monitored. Ark-Cores, operating beneath Earth, analyzed every pattern, every anomaly, every quantum signal. Humanity had eyes in places even they did not know existed. A test of humanity. Fleet Marshal Aria Kane convened the Void Armada in orbit of the restored Earth. Her tone was calm, commanding, unyielding. Reports indicate a coalition forming beyond mapped space, she said. Allow them to act, a junior officer asked, voice trembling. Aria's eyes were cold as the void. Observe. Do not intervene, yet. Let them reveal their intentions. Let the galaxy see that no one can hide from the consequences of ambition. She turned to the stars. Every action has a reaction. And humanity's vigilance is infinite. Humanity's diplomacy. Even as opposition formed, humans extended a hand to those willing to comply. Peace treaties were offered to reluctant species. Education in Ark-Core management and interstellar logistics was provided. Medical relief, technology sharing, and trade networks were extended to rebuild what the Council had broken. But every gift came with a message. Respect life. Respect order. Betray either, and the consequences are absolute. The first warning. A distant star system attempted to seize an abandoned colony, believing humanity distracted by rebuilding efforts. The reaction was instantaneous. Gravity manipulation fields immobilized the invading fleet. Communications were scrambled by Ark-Core satellites. Civilian colonies were evacuated safely while aggressors were neutralized. A single human transmission echoed across the galaxy. We do not kill without reason. We do not conquer without cause. This is your warning. The galaxy watched in awe and fear. No species had ever wielded such precise control. A galaxy remade. By the end of the decade, the Terran Accord had established order across hundreds of systems. Former Council planets thrived under human guidance. Rogue factions were either assimilated peacefully or rendered powerless. Ark-Cores ensured that no single species could dominate another. Even as the galaxy healed, the lesson remained etched into every mind. Humanity is patient. Humanity is just. Humanity is inevitable. And somewhere in the deep void, the Eclipse Coalition continued to plot, unaware that every move they made was already predicted. Humanity was not just defending the galaxy. They were shaping its future, silently, inexorably, and forever.